My name is Nickelman. I'll be your host for today's match. Have a seat, relax, and enjoy the show. We will be enjoying, once again, a fierceful fight between Coalition Francophone and R40. This time, R40 will be the German faction, and Coalition Francophone try to attack Oosterbeek 1 offensive in this second match. Teams are setting up. I had to spawn in the main, so it takes me a little bit of time to reach the main barn, because the first, we can see here, the first objective is the main barn. Notoriously difficult to defend, but I also find it notoriously difficult to attack. We saw a very tight match last week. Let's see where the defending team is situated. Of course, in the southern forest, we see a formidable, tight defense line in the north. We see some people, I'm gonna guesstimate that's gonna be Logi on the church. We see several rallies. There is the cannon by Duddle. We see something going on in the church.
Upstairs.
Yes, ammo. Just in case, very smart. Just in case, we got some ammo on the church when needed. We're gonna look at the first skirmishes probably happening in the north. Yes, where we see two sections. We see armor, allied armor, taking position on the street. And we see a section encountering Dark Fighter as the only, and they already took the rally there, so that the outward rally is compromised and gone. Coalition Française very aggressive on their attack. We see the armor taking position. This is a Sherman, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to lock out that northern lane that you see here. Trying to control the northeast. But we also see skirmishes going on in the far northeast. So let's see what's going on there. Although I hear here, probably we're gonna have some attack on the tank, so let's follow that first. Yes, and I'm afraid that is bye-bye to the first tank. Immobilized at least, I think, and there we go. The ancient is gone, but so is the Pioneer. No, that's not the Pioneer.
Picking you up. Place your charge immediately.
Yes, thanks.
There he goes. We're gonna get some close combat around the tank. He's repairing. Immediately they're helped by the mortar, by the friendly mortar, the allied troops. It's very smart move. Or there might be enemy mortar. Who knows? It's incredible that the tank is still moving. We're gonna get a huge tank overhaul in Post Scriptum, because this is rather absurd that the tank was fixed in 2 seconds. But that is the game now. And the tank is trying to make it back to safe ground. Let's see what the troops are doing in the meantime. We have the northeast attack by the Coalition. And we have the troops closer by the target. Let's see what's going on in the south. Fixius on the 88 is already taken down by mortar, no doubt. The Coalition Française is very strong in the southern forest and is really closing in on target. Here you see them coming in a huge line, spread over the south, and only fragmentary people are occupying the troops in the north, and a huge possibility for this first wave to make an impact. As we see the individual soldiers reaching the target, being helped by a smoke barrage, no doubt allied smoke to confuse the enemy. We have Furious still down, or is he being helped? Yeah, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's blue. Hard to see. We have individual soldiers pushing in already. Lip. We have R40 in the armored car with NRVN. So the web is closing in. Oh, is that a sapper? No, Furious is just a soldier running away. He saw that there is enemy in the barn, tries to take the fight with these soldiers in the southern barn, but Furious is all by himself. Fixius it is. Fixius, I have 2 Fixiuses on screen. Fixius, awesome play by Fixius with the Luger. Oh, Fixius, rip. Lip will get his friend Coin back up. So we saw Mad Fox here as well on the Sten gun. A lot of automatics in the game. It's a critic a lot of players have. We want the vintage World War II feel. So make the car 98 great again, I would say, to those people. I am on the fence. It has to remain a game, has to be fun. However, I'm also a stickler for correct representation. Gonna see which tanks are moving up. Do we have... No, we just have a tanker in the middle of nowhere. Run, Forest, run. Let us see. We have the little Sherman in the north, and then a bit further another Sherman with Lucky Shoot and Creuse pushing up. Let's calm down and check out how the cap is going. There we go. As I said earlier, that was a breakthrough in the south, so we clearly see a dominance of the Coalition Française in the south. Rusty still has some spawn close on the cap. Here we see it. So they might still be able to draw in troops. However, if we see the balance, the enemy to Rusty, the French commander, or German commander shall I say, is present, is in the barn. As you know, when the commander is present, here we have the French command. Then the cap will fall faster, so it is a trade-off, because the commander is also worth 2 tickets. Compared to 1 ticket for the regular infantry. So it's a trade-off, you know, you're gonna take the risk. Have your commander on the cap, but the commander speeds up the time of the cap. So we see more people running, pouring in the south. We see more people pouring in the north. And this small section of Rusty is getting heavily pounded on. Bodies are falling fast. Cake Funny tries to keep the barn in German hands. But the next stand is already there. There he is. The radio man with the carbine. But I clearly heard a Sten. There is the strafing. Very good strafing around. What happened to the Allied armored car? That is destroyed. And the cap has fallen after only a couple of minutes. That was a very strong push in the south. I think that was the success of the attack. A very heavy push in the south. We're gonna see how the armor is doing. I'm afraid that's one burning Allied tank, and I'm afraid there's more bad news for another Allied. So it did come at a cost, but a very good cap of the first point, and we have a Churchill heavy tank going out as we speak. As we piggyback right with the Churchill. It is always good to look at our map. Where we see the same southern push of the Coalition is still continuing south of Griesoord. And let's take a quick look at that second cap. Pockets of German soldiers are still staying behind, but as we can see, the map is coloring red, and the attack proper has started already with a huge mortar barrage of smoke and explosives on the church, disorienting the Germans. Allied forces are pushing in the north west of the church and trying to establish a block of refreshing waves of reinforcements. They try to disorient the German team by locking down the spawn you see here, and that's what they're after. But you see a very good defense of the Rusty, of their spawn. Yeah, I was going to say Silme made it, however he was just dealt on by Iron Mike. Well played there. But as you can see, the Coalition is still very strong in the northwest here. Very strong indeed. And they're taking their time, they're taking position. Smart move not to forcefully start shooting everyone. Although we always have a couple of pushers, we'll follow them towards the church. We know Post Scriptum rewards aggressive play. However, there we go. Aggressive play can also be brutally punished. We see some defenses build up in the church. We see the grenade go out.
Hey, just come in.
Yeah, grenade made some serious some serious victims here. The aggressive play is paying out. Carbines all around. We have a lot of allied forces here, circling around the church. In the church, people are being resurrected. However, little too late. Gotha, strong play by Gotha, being supported by his comrades on the other entrance. All carbines. There is still one lad of the Germans, an MG, trying to, as you see, ladies and gentlemen, fiercely defending the church proper. Slugbrush is. But will he be countered by Killam? Some friendly fire happening there. You can see that in the left top corner. The report of my server will show. We got an explosive planted. And to no avail. Slugbrush got protected by the divine intervention of the church. Built to last. The house of the Lord. How are we doing outside? We see church is about to fall if the Allied don't get their troops back on the cap. Just lost their armor. The Stug got fried. And we have one mad MG Slugbrush still slugging it out in the church. Radio Man Gotha is trying to clean. There he goes. But he was dropped by... That must be IMT and Rusty coming to the party and saving Rush. Slug. Sorry. What was it? Brush? Yeah, Brush. Slugbrush coming to you in theaters near you. You have to forgive me a little bit on these names. I mean... That's a Stuka. Let's go. Explosion must be here somewhere. Yes. And it missed it. It missed these troops on a hair. Yeah, didn't do any good. Also missed their rally. I don't see a rally. It's a dead guy. Ah, maybe it got rid of the rally. Yeah. So... Let's take a little look here in the northwest. Also Coalition Francophone is having the occasional team kill. That is war, you know, in the fiercefulness of war. A grenade is thrown very easily. A little bit too close to friendly and then it happens. We've all been there. Cha 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 cha. We still see a big force in the south. We see the Allied tank being surrounded by German forces. 2 Allied tanks. 2 Churchills. Such an aggressive play by the Coalition Francophone. Love to see it. Such an aggressive tank play. Will the commander be shot? No, he was just on time back in the tank. Even will kick himself that he wasn't able to shoot him. That was very lucky for Lucky Shoot. What's in a name? This is an incredibly aggressive play. 2 Churchills on cap. And you know what? These mad lads, they might have a working strategy here. We see now Rusty running to the Allied armor. Waffle Cup died already. We have Raider. We have Winsky. Or is he down? Winsky's down as well. 2 Churchills, totally aggressive. And where is the AT? Where is the German AT? There is a German AT. No pressure. And there was another one. But Churchill's an incredibly aggressive move by the Coalition Francophone. We know these guys from last season. It is a very strong team. Changing up, mixing up their tactics every game I see of them. 2 Churchills defending each other. It seems that they only lost 1 player. They go back to the repair crane. Of course, now the Rusty 40 should be able... No. I'm so sorry, but also Church at Greaseord fell into Allied hands. It was almost clear earlier. And already the front line, none of these soldiers on the Allied side have any patience. They are just steamrolling here. Already taking up positions in several buildings west with even more than 3 minutes on the timer. It prevents the enemy to really reform and regroup because, of course, the hard spawn, which is a valid strategy. You might think it's dirty. It is the strategy in this game. You're gonna look for the hard spawn on the next cap and you will control that hard spawn. It is mimicking, in a way you could say, it is mimicking the direct reinforcements because, let's face it, the game still only runs 40 players against 40 players. So you're gonna need some artificial spawns on cap to keep the flow going, you know. Another radio man on target here. Already, now probably with 2 minutes to go. Already the south is in Allied hands. Rusty 40 has no chance to recover. Is suffering huge losses in the south. They traded. Darkfighter traded with Piper. The German heavy tank, the Panther, is looking for fresh meat. We have the French commander here in the ditch on cap, putting his weight in the fight. Attack is supported by a huge mortar in the center of the cap here, where you also find the defending soldiers that are now trapped by this French web. Also the east, the web is closing. IMT. Maybe he spotted the Brit on his stomach here. Shaf. Or is Shaf able to get IMT? No. Where is he shooting at? was shooting. Oh, Shaf, you just took a bullet to the head. So that must be from... That could have been Alex here, the radio man. The Germans still have some means of spawning, at least one section. We have the German heavy tank entering the scene again. It seems that the south has been halted a little bit by a couple of mad lads from the German team. Yes, Cacophony cleaning out the forest. Another radio man. The radio mans on both teams in this game are very functional roles, you know. They keep the rallies going. They have a semi-automatic. Have a pistol to them, their equipment, and then all the grenades. So yes, it is a class, if played well, that can mean a lot for a team. Especially now with the allied radio man no longer having a Sten, but a carbine. Which for close quarter battle is, of course, a very powerful weapon. We have Nas and Jean de Bonville and Dylan Epic being very aggressive in their defense. Might pay off because they found a rally. Or are they just passing on the rally? That rally will be destroyed by... Yes. That's unfortunate that you killed yourself with your own hand grenade. Mr. Isert. Meanwhile, we just saw that the French team in the south is now definitely broke through and are now bothering the little kitty cat. And the cat was just died. Probably a suicide mine or a gammon bomb. But that was definitely a suicide destruction. So I think Schweizerhöhe is now in firm allied hands. And we're gonna have to see how Johanna Farm will... Although the north is still a formidable... No. Too little too late, I'm afraid. George section tried to push in from the north. But that wasn't possible. Again, we see the French commander being very aggressive on the fixed spawn at the farm. We will immediately fly there in the camera. As we see the last skirmishes going about on the last objective. And we see one German tank here still standing. Also a heavy tank. Another Panther. I thought there was a French guy, but that must be a glitch. It's so confusing. It's a French guy, but it's a Brit. But the Brits are Germans, you know? But they left Europe. So what is it, you know? Here we have a forward section with the Jeep and then with the spawn. And we see a lot of people spawning, of course. We see Command staying with the spawn tent of that section. As he ordered, no doubt, he ordered some artillery in. So let's see how the artillery comes down on Johanna Hoover farm. we go, smoke on the farm. We just saw Commander calling planes. Yeah. That was on the barn. I don't think anyone was in the barn, so that was a bit of a Bomber Harris. Probably killed a couple of Dutch farmers in the process. Ticket-wise, the defenders did lose some tickets. Mainly due to their armor, I think. But also, of course, individual fights lost. The attacking team normally loses more tickets in attacking, but they were very efficient in their attacks. They selected, as it were, a corridor in which they just kept being persistent. And we see again here the corridor in the northeast. I saw them constantly coming. Where command is here. The French team comes from the northeast, but now also from the southwest, so a double attack in this scenario. And we heard some armor being destroyed there. And that was the second destructed heavy tank. I have no words. Probably try to Woman, Wheat and Weather probably try to revive his mates. But they're under the tank wreck, so that's probably a no-go. Little glitch in the game. Meanwhile, Coalition Francophone is destroying the enemy rally. Trying to, but the grenade was planted. There we go.
Wait, you got three here,
Do it. Do the rally here.
We're here. Do the rally. Chuck with the spears.
40 fucking second.
Okay.
So we see the east is being cleaned out by Abel Squad and George Squad, Dog Squad, all the squads. But also the south of the Allied forces, the French team in the south, is enduring some losses. But they're clearly still pushing in the south, trying to get closer to the barn. Where the German teams, so Rusty 40, they have to start thinking because they just fell under the cape of 200 defensive tickets. They might want to start to consider how to push this French storm, this French Iron Fist. The winners of Season 2. And they're on their way to become leader in the standings, as I believe, but I'm not quite sure about that. The updated stands will emerge on the official Discord of the European season. Of the European Ladder, excuse me, Season 3. And next week I will report about it in this, or next time, shall I say, because next week I won't be able to stream. While we see Jackal still defending hard in the south. Here he is. So the French have now, under their command, taken ground again in the east. Relentless mortar dropping on the cap. And yes, it's all allied troops coming from the east. With the commander, we will walk in his shoes for a second. Very confident player. Doesn't look at the right. He's very confident there is no one on his right. That's awesome. And by himself, he's going to clean out with a bayonet. He's gonna clean out the barn with a cheeky bayonet. And we have the French commander in the cap, which means the capping process will again go faster. It helps the troops that there is also the armored car arrived. And what can Rusty do in their counterattack? They are kind of stuck in this villa, it seems. Close fighting. Very well played by Rusty. Saving the day here, but for how long? We have so many allied troops on the German cap, on the Hoeve, and there we go, we just saw it live. Hand over to the Brits, and now we are entering the village of Oosterbeek, the village proper. Already, command is rushing to the town. We see the town gets rushed by the north, from the north, with allied armor in the northeast. And there we're gonna have some tank battle confronting each other. Because I see a German armor basically being ambushed by a Firefly and a Churchill. And that was another heavy tank from on the German side that bites the dust. The French armored car. Yeah, the Sherman also bit the dust. Where is that Churchill gone to? That's the Allied armored car. I knew there was a Churchill somewhere. There it is. 100 miles an hour. Lucky shoot again. Still in the Churchill. Goes to show you. Looking for his repair crane, but running into German AT, it seems. can almost hear Jackal yell, "There's a bloody Churchill here!" We've all been there. Is this player doing here? I assume that's a sapper or a pioneer or an AT. No, no pioneer, because else he would have the MP40. Never mind. Let's go to outskirts of Oosterbeek, where we see the north of the Allied forces. The French team is trying to establish a full web again, starting from the north. We have Rogue Demon still holding fort for the Germans. And what is he? Class, he is the sniper. And he's looking over the north. Very good positioning we see here. Very good positioning, but as we all know, snipers also need to move, and that's when they become vulnerable. Coalition Francophone is still comfortable on 259 tickets, ladies and gentlemen. We see the Rusty 40 84 tickets. Let's see what they can do. They're well positioned, and town fighting, of course, is notoriously difficult. We have plenty of time to go, so I think it will be... It will come down to the tickets. And maybe a full map domination. Maybe we'll see the first full map domination in this season. That was Allied R40, Allied planes, and smoke. But still, the Allied are mainly in the north. Only one soldier in the south, and a couple of them, of course, on the reinforcements. As I said earlier, this is a valid tactic. People that play public sometimes might feel that they get spawn camped. It's, yeah, sure. However, in competitive play, you have to see it like, here is where the reinforcements could come from. So you would be almost dumb not to send half a section to the enemy's hard spawn. It is a valid tactic that we see developed in competitive play in general. And then in public play we give, players give it names like spawn killing, kill farming, which is in a way, in a non-coordinated team, you could say, yeah. On the other hand, that player will, of course, help the team a lot by preventing reinforcements coming to save the day. And as you see, by now, if all these French players are still alive, you see even a domination of the fixed spawn by the French team. Here we are on the fixed spawn, so in this area the Germans are spawning, and there you see Ateneo just killing everything that he sees popping up. And the French team, they sucked several players to this fight. Several Rusty 40 players, so the Germans are like prevented from hard spawning. Hence preventing from reinforcements. More Allied smoke on the cap. And we see in the distance the Allied armor. Doing a huge western flank to command. But here we clearly see that it will be game over for this cap soon. German strafing round. Tank battle in the north, and we see the German. We see the Stug driving away. The armored car was no match for the Stug. The cap, however, looks like a done deal, unless the southern troops can really make it on the cap, because the French are losing some soldiers here, so a recap might be possible. However, 22 tickets against 218 is going to be, unless there's a miracle, I'm going to call this game. With 20 tickets to go against 215. I'll be take a last glance at the battlefield, the village of Oosterbeek. Oosterbeek is the proper pronunciation of this Dutch village. I believe west of Arnhem, not sure. So outskirts was not conquered by the Allies. It looks like the Germans are controlling outskirts again. Therefore, there is not total map domination. However, a very strong performance from both teams. I think the German armor was stronger than I could put on screen.
GG boys.
Not sure about that. But this was a formidable game.
We're definitely getting better.
And there we have the results of the individual soldiers. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. This was round 1 in the European Post Scriptum Ladder. Match 2 between Coalition Francophone and the Rusty 40, with Coalition Francophone taking the win in today's match. I was your host, Knekkelman. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.